Alright everyone, so this is Tony Falcone from Turbo-Exp.net, and basically this is my first time trying out YouTube. I figured now for the start of the new year to bring in something new to the site and try my hand at YouTube, so I'm going to give it a shot. And this is my first video, and what I'm going to be doing is basically recapping all the news that went down for TVs and movies this past week that maybe I didn't get to on the site, or just maybe smaller news that is I don't really feel is worth writing a whole article about, and I'll just talk about it briefly over here. So the first big news of the week was actually Marvel casted Luke Cage finally. They've had that Netflix show in the works for a while, aka Jessica Jones. And yeah, pretty much it's not anybody that we expected. Names like The Rock and Terry Crews and all these guys were rumored when it was believed that they were making a movie. And they ended up casting Mike Coulter, who is he's most famous right now for the web series on Xbox Live, actually, Halo Nightfall. And basically, the guy doesn't have, like an amazing, track record or anything like that. But he's a pretty good fit, at least appearance-wise, for Luke Cage. I'd say he probably needs to like beef up a little bit more. But all in all, like it's a pretty good pick. I think that if they're ever going to incorporate him in a movie, um, he's not exactly the biggest star, but hopefully the Netflix series is able to like make his name a little bit more known. So by the time that series does come around, people will be like, "Oh, hey, that's Mike Coulter," and now he's on screen with let's say Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and all those other guys, and he'll be able to hold his own. Also on DC side of things, apparently Shazam, after all those rumors, some people were kind of worried that it wasn't going to be part of the new DC cinematic universe, which right now, really the only movies we know are going to be a part of the DC cinematic universe is anything Justice League related and most likely Suicide Squad. But now you can add Shazam to that list because apparently it will be part of the DC cinematic universe. We already know The Rock's going to play Black Adam. They haven't cast Shazam yet. Um, I think it's actually, it'll fit well. I mean, I know DC's going for a pretty dark tone with a lot of their movies and their whole universe thus far. But Shazam's is probably going to be a really fun movie in comparison to, let's say, Man of Steel or even Batman vs. Superman. But I think that that's a character that you can use to your advantage. And when you have a star like The Rock in there, I mean, hopefully he does a good job as Black Adam. I'm already kind of worried I'm not going to be able to take him serious enough. But when you have an actor like The Rock in there, you would want to use him to your advantage. You would want to have him on screen with Ben Affleck in a Justice League movie. Imagine a Ben Affleck Batman fight against The Rock's Black Adam, or even Henry Cavill's Superman against The Rock's Black Adam. That's pretty awesome. And we don't know who's directing yet. We don't know who's playing the actual, hero Shazam yet. But I think it's kind of a relief to know that at least DC's looking at incorporating this movie in their universe. And I think that's a really good idea. I think that'll work out for them. Also in Star Trek news, there was a whole drama with, as far as director, we obviously know that J.J. Abrams is not going to direct that movie because he's obviously he worked on Star Wars Episode 7 instead. And, we don't know yet if he's going to produce, but it was rumored that Roberto Orci, who's actually known for writing the first two movies with Alex Kurtzman, he was going to have his first try at directing in general with Star Trek 3, and now it turns out that apparently he's not going to do it anymore, and apparently he's not even writing the movie. And they decided on Justin Lin, who you guys might know him mainly from Fast and the Furious, directing those Fast and Furious movies. And, I mean, for me, there was a lot of names thrown around that I felt were a little bit more, fit for the job. I was kind of rooting for Rupert Wyatt, but then I saw The Gambler this weekend, and I'm not really too big into that anymore. But I think that one of the guys that I was really interested in seeing take on the project was Edgar Wright, who we obviously know dropped out of Ant-Man, had those issues with Marvel, and he's kind of looking. I mean, he's got a lot of projects of his own already, down the line that he'll be working on. The guy's never got like no work. But for him to do a blockbuster movie like Star Trek 3, and he actually directed a scene in Star Trek Into Darkness, which was the last movie, I think that would have been really cool. But Justin Lin, overall, I mean, I enjoyed Fast and the Furious 6. I don't think that he was the best candidate out there, but I'm curious to see what he does. I'm gonna reserve judgment for the movie, but I honestly don't even know what they're gonna do story wise. So I'm generally just hopefully, awaiting to see if they're able to move forward without J.J. Abrams. Because I think it's gonna be a while. I think J.J. Abrams is gonna, even though he's not gonna be directing episodes 8 or 9, he is probably going to be involved with those Star Wars movies, and I think that his time with Star Trek might be up. So I really want another director to be able to take on this franchise and keep it at where it's at right now. Um, Overall, as far as this whole Idris Elba James Bond thing goes, there's no real news because we obviously know that from the Sony hacks, it came out that they were considering the possibility of Idris Elba playing James Bond, which obviously caused a lot of controversy because there's never been a black James Bond before. And I think the whole thing's pretty dumb. I mean, it was kind of blown out of proportion that Sony suggested it. I don't know if that's actually Sony's plan. I highly doubt that Sony's even thinking of far ahead. I think right now they're focusing on Spectre, which is the upcoming James Bond movie, Daniel Craig's probably last movie for this James Bond series. But it doesn't really look like Sony's like has too much in mind. I mean, we've heard Michael Fassbender rumors, we've heard Christopher Nolan as far as director rumors, Matthew Vaughn. As far as directors interested, but I honestly don't think that Sony has looked at the actual possibility of any of those directors or any of those actors that have been thrown around or suggested by fans. But I really like the Idris Elba idea. I think it'll be very different. I'm really willing to see where they take Bond because this current series, I know that my opinion on it might not be the most popular, but I'm not too big into the whole Daniel Craig series. I'm ready for them to reboot and see something else. I mean, I want to see Spectre, but this series is not exactly my type of movies, and I'm pretty interested to see what other direction they could take the James Bond character in. And I think Idris Elba would be a pretty good fit, and he even he's not taking it too hard as far as the comments that were made about oh no, you can't play him because he's black and James Bond's not supposed to be black or whatever. He didn't really take it too personally or anything. He just kind of posted on his Twitter like, "Oh, James Bond's supposed to be handsome, and I think I fit that criteria, kind of, or whatever." So I think that him being a good sport about it might increase the chance of Sony considering him when that opportunity comes up. But overall, I think their priority when they do reboot Bond will probably be the director, and then after that, what actor they would cast, and going on from there, who's going to be the new Q, who's going to be the new M, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, overall, that was really the big news for this week. Obviously, all the stuff, the interview finally came out, sort of, and pretty much everybody's seen it except for me. So don't be expecting a review or anything like that until I actually do get to see it. Chris Pine pretty much said, don't expect a Jack Ryan sequel. He basically admitted that Shadow Recruit was a failure. So I don't, especially him speaking up about it like that, really doesn't look like there's going to be much of a chance of them doing a sequel down the line. And then this whole thing, it's all rumor right now, but with the Star Wars spin-off that we know is going to be directed by Gareth Edwards, who is the director of Godzilla. There's rumors that it will focus on Han Solo, which, ironically enough, that's what we thought the Josh Trank directed spin-off, which Josh Trank, the director of Chronicle, he also is attached to do a Star Wars spin-off, and we thought that was going to be the Han Solo, spin-off movie that would focus on like a younger Han Solo, and then we thought that the Gareth Edwards one was going to be a Boba Fett movie, and it turns out that no, that Gareth Edwards might be the one directing the Han Solo movie. And it looks like the actor that they have in mind is Aaron Paul, who obviously a lot of people know him from Breaking Bad, a fan favorite for that. But I don't know if he exactly fits the role. I mean, I'm cool with it. My choice is personally Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy. I think that he has the look down, he has the attitude down, all that kind of stuff. But I'd be curious to see Aaron Paul. I mean, he's already got a huge fan base. It'll be really cool for Star Wars fans to see a star that popular playing such a big character. But I don't know if he can actually pass as a young Harrison Ford, so that's probably my only issue with it. But it's all rumor right now, that whole thing, so I wouldn't exactly count on it. But if it does end up being true, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would actually be pretty cool with that. So yeah, guys, this is my first YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to keep these up weekly. I mean, if there's really not any news in the span of 1 week, then I really don't think it's worth one video. I'll just probably post something on Turbo. But for the most part, I would like to keep this up. Let me know if there's any suggestions that I can improve this kind of stuff. Any news I left out, and would like to hear your guys' opinion about all this news that came out this week. All right, thanks, and Happy New Year for everybody out there.